Did you know that in 1859 something fascinating happened? Charles Darwin published his groundbreaking book, On the Origin of Species, which introduced the world to the concept of evolution by natural selection. This theory was so radical and unthinkable for many people at the time that they simply couldn't accept it. Even today, there are individuals who dismiss the theory of evolution because they can't believe such a complex world could have come about through natural processes. This disbelief is an example of personal incredulity. The fallacy of personal incredulity occurs when one rejects an idea because it seems too implausible to be true without considering the evidence supporting it. This fallacy can also take the form of rejecting an idea as wrong because it contradicts one's own beliefs or knowledge on the subject. It is a type of informal fallacy that appeals to emotion rather than logic. The problem with this kind of reasoning is that one's inability to imagine something does not give any information about whether it is true or false in reality. There may be many factors that limit one's imagination, such as lack of knowledge, experience, or creativity. Hey rational rebels! Welcome to the arena of reason, the very place we train our minds to spot cognitive pitfalls. This is Chris from Critical Conditioning, where we strive for cognitive precision and free our minds from that mental prison. Today, we're exploring the personal incredulity fallacy, a fallacy that occurs when someone rejects an argument or claim simply because they personally find it difficult to believe or understand. We'll delve into the psychology behind this fallacy and how it can hinder open-minded thinking and critical analysis. Before we delve into this intriguing topic, remember to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell to stay updated with our mind-strengthening content. If you find our podcast valuable, consider supporting us through PayPal using the link in the description. Your support helps us continue our mission of promoting rational thinking. Also, please share this episode with someone you know who might be interested in understanding the personal incredulity fallacy. Supercharge your mind, hit subscribe, don't be left behind. Let's get started. Now that we've seen a historical example of personal incredulity in action, let's dive into some concrete studies to understand this phenomenon better. One study conducted by Pennycook and colleagues in 2015 found that individuals who are more likely to engage in analytical thinking are less likely to fall for personal incredulity. In this study, participants were asked to solve cognitive reflection tasks, and their performance was compared to their tendency to fall for personal incredulity. The results showed that individuals with higher cognitive reflection scores were less likely to be swayed by their own disbelief. Another study, published by Lewandowski and colleagues in 2013, focused on the role of personal incredulity in the rejection of scientific consensus. The researchers found that individuals who reject the scientific consensus on topics such as the health benefits of regular exercise and the importance of a balanced diet often rely on personal incredulity to justify their skepticism. Essentially, they can't fathom that the scientific community could be correct about these issues, and therefore, they choose to reject the evidence. There are many real-world examples where personal incredulity comes into play. Some of these include: 1. Individuals who reject the idea that the Earth is round, choosing instead to believe in a flat Earth. 2. People who refuse to accept the possibility of extraterrestrial life, despite the vastness of the universe and the potential for habitable planets beyond Earth. 3. People who deny the negative impacts of social media on mental health and well-being, despite numerous studies and personal anecdotes supporting the connection, but also the opposite: people who think that you can't learn anything watching social media, while critical conditioning is proving them wrong. 4. Individuals who discredit the dangers of smoking, even though there's a clear link between smoking and various health issues. 5. Those who dismiss the idea that a healthy diet and regular exercise can lead to a longer, healthier life. 6. Those who refuse to believe that addiction can be a disease, instead believing that it is always a moral failing or lack of willpower. 7. Those who doubt the power of placebo effects in medicine, despite well-documented cases demonstrating their impact. 8. People who deny the existence of cognitive biases and logical fallacies, believing that they are completely rational and objective in their decision-making, despite extensive research showing that these biases and fallacies significantly influence human behavior and decision-making. Now, let's examine the individual differences that may make some people more susceptible to personal incredulity. People who are strongly attached to their beliefs or values are way more prone to personal incredulity, as they may engage in motivated reasoning to protect their views. This can lead to dismissing evidence that contradicts their beliefs simply because they cannot fathom the alternative. Additionally, individuals who score high in traits such as openness to experience and cognitive reflection tend to be less susceptible to this fallacy. Lastly, people with low IQs are way more susceptible to personal incredulity, as they have difficulty comprehending complex ideas. They usually dismiss complex ideas that they don't understand and rely on simplistic explanations or beliefs that confirm their existing worldview to protect the self-esteem. So, how can you spot personal incredulity and avoid falling victim to it? One way is to be aware of your own biases and beliefs. If you find yourself dismissing evidence because it contradicts your existing views, take a step back and critically examine the evidence. Ask yourself if your disbelief is based on a genuine flaw in the evidence, or if it's simply because you can't wrap your head around the concept. Another way to avoid personal incredulity is to be open to new ideas. By exposing yourself to all perspectives and challenging your own beliefs, you'll be better equipped to recognize when personal incredulity might be clouding your judgment. Also, be willing to admit when you're wrong. Don't be afraid to change your beliefs or admit when you've made a mistake. Lastly and most importantly, be on the watch if there is new evidence that you haven't heard of. If your reflex is to make a counterargument, you are falling victim to the fallacy of personal incredulity, since you haven't taken the time to fully understand the new information. Keep in mind that new information can change everything, so it's important to let go of winning the argument and take the time to fully comprehend the new information before thinking about dismissing it. So, rational rebels, what are your thoughts on this fallacy? Have you or someone you know experienced a similar situation? Share your perspective with the community and in the comments below. Your support is incredibly valuable to us. If you can, please consider making a donation through the PayPal link in the description. Every contribution helps us continue creating content that promotes critical thinking. Thank you for being a part of our mission. Keep your mind sharp, raise your banner with a like, enlist and subscribe to become a rational rebel alike, avoiding all the pitfalls that may come your way. This is Chris from Critical Conditioning, signing off for today.